Hello, tonight I'm going to give you some ideas uh, concerning how to set up your own watercolor palette. So this is my regular watercolor set, which is a Winsor & Newton Cutman palette. I love it, but it's huge. So if I just want to go outside to paint, or if I'm traveling, it's a hassle to take it with me. So that's why I've decided to use metal boxes, small metal boxes, as palettes. So these little boxes, you can find them at the supermarket. They are very inexpensive. They are small and light, so that's useful. And you really can find them everywhere. This was meant to be used with a gift card, for example. So you can go to the supermarket and you will surely find them. Um, when you are setting up your own palette, I suggest that you are very careful when choosing the colors that are going to be together, because you don't want your very dark colors such as indigo to go next to your Naples yellow, which is a very light color. So as you can see, I have different and separate palettes. This is a palette that contains my greenish colors, and it's very small, as you can see, which I like. I suggest that you add a scrap of watercolor paper in the palette, because in the box I mean, because as you can see, these colors are very dark and they look alike. So you have to see them on paper to know which color you want to use. So as you can see, I also put the swatches on the other palette, which is a palette that contains my yellowish reddish earth tones. I also put the different names of each color and the different brands that I use, because I don't have the same brand, for every color. As I said, this can be your travel palettes. I use them with a water brush, which is a watercolor brush that can contain water, so that you don't have to have your water bottle with you when you are painting, when you are on the go. You should go and find one of these brushes, because if you travel a lot, if you want to go to use your watercolors when you are outside, they aren't expensive, and you can find them at your local crafts store. As for the mixing palette that I either use this metal box that has a white bottom, which means that I can actually see the colors that I'm mixing together, or I can use a very, very small mixing palette. I do prefer metal mixing palettes, because I think that watercolors mix better on metal. So I have this palette, which is bigger, but it's very light all the same and very thin, and I take it with me all the time. I also suggest that you don't clean your watercolor palettes very often, or even not at all, because these are watercolors. So even if it looks like old paint, whenever you are going to put some water on the stains, they will become usable again. So you shouldn't clean them, even though it looks messy, I know. As for the notebook that I use, the paper that I use when I'm traveling, it's a very, very small watercolor notebook, which is a Fabriano notebook, and it's 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, which is 13.5 centimeters by 21 centimeters. It's very light. I can take it with me everywhere, which I like. And as you can see, this is my travel set. I like the idea of being able to have my watercolors with me all the time, so I take them with me when I travel. And I don't know, if you want to have your own watercolor palette, your own watercolor travel palette, you can use some of these ideas and, create your own. Thanks for watching.